All right, man, I'm excited. You know why?
Why? Why are you excited?
We're part of the Den.
Ooh, we're here having some whiskey in the den. Hanging out in the den. It's like the man den.
Yeah.
What's the den?
Den is the Deluxe Edition Network, an awesome network of podcasts that you could check out at deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Check out all the podcasts there. Lots of good stuff, including, now, fresh and new, Bacon is My Podcast. What's your bacon?
There's so much to talk about. I mean, like, even in the past, like, even like wrestling wise, even like life wise, it's just been crazy. It's been crazy the past couple of weeks, right?
It has been crazy the past couple of weeks. We've done a couple wrestling things though, so let's do a life one.
Let's do a life one. We'll graze past the wrestling at some point, though, because there's a couple of things that we should definitely talk about. We'll do life first.
Yeah.
Let's do life first.
Sure.
All right. I'm going to do the intro.
Let's do it.
Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon! Bacon is my... Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my...
Hey, bud.
What's up?
Guess what time it is?
Fall.
Yes. You know what that means? That means that the trees are shedding their leaves.
Indeed, indeed. You know what does not shed leaves automatically?
Chesticles, testicles, and cheeks.
Right. So it is time for some fresh ball fall action.
Yeah.
My friends.
Manscaped, the Lawnmower 4.0, featuring their patented skin-safe technology.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, if you're not using Manscaped yet, what are you waiting for? Come on.
And what do your balls look like? Ooh.
Right? It's got an LED light, so if you're worried about nicking something or not being able to see, you don't have to worry, man. The lawnmower has it.
Shave in the dark.
Exactly. It's waterproof.
It is waterproof.
Go into the shower. If you don't want to make a mess outside the shower, go in the shower.
Shave in a dark shower.
Yeah, you can do that with Manscaped. If you go to manscaped.com, use the promo code BACONPOD, it'll give you 20% off and free shipping.
Free shipping.
And it's not even just for the lawnmower.
No, it's for everything. You can get the crop mops, shampoo, they have body soap, they have lotions, all kinds of things. Check it out, manscaped.com. If you can't remember the promo code, just jump over to baconsmypodcast.com and check out our sponsors page.
Always remember to clean your testicles, your chesticles, and your cheeks with Manscaped.
Yeah, man. What's your bacon?
So can I just say that, like, every now and then I'm like, I should do a new intro video for this, or we should make the intro shorter, or this or that, or maybe re-record it or something like that, or have Joey make a an 80s
like a synth
version of it.
Oh.
But I'm always like, I want to do another video for the intro, and then I see the video for the intro, and I'm like, it's so ridiculous. I can't. It's like,
why
giraffes? Giraffes are racing.
I remember because we had that canned thing that was like a boom, and that was like meh, but we quickly got rid of it. I wonder if I still have it. I mean, I know I have it somewhere.
Yeah, I made that one with the explosions.
Yeah.
Right? But it was like that.
It was like the samurais in the explosions.
Yeah, that's where the whole samurai thing came from. Was just doing that. And then once we made our own song, it was like, I don't know. I just was like, oh, let me see what I can see what kind of weirdness I can find.
Yeah.
And there's dinosaurs and racing giraffes, and it's like
evil unicorn.
Yeah, like I don't even know how I don't know how I would follow that.
Yeah, no, I feel like it would be a disservice.
Right.
You set the bar too high.
I don't think I could do better.
Yeah.
I think I peaked.
Yeah. Which is fine. At least you know. At least you admit it.
Yeah. It's good to know where your ceiling is.
Yeah, but this like life has been crazy. We've had like such an off schedule with recording and whatnot, and like we're gonna have a little bit of off recording scheduling the next couple of weeks too, and like, man, but it's good things like travel and you know, we're going to Thrice in a few weeks.
I'm excited for that.
That's gonna be sick. But yeah, it's been wacky, and for the show itself, I'm sure you guys have seen some of the posts that we've had, and we had a lot of people post from it. But we are in a podcast network now called The Den.
We're in the Den. We're hanging out in the Den.
Yeah, Deluxe Edition Network, which is pretty cool. It's, like, full disclosure, it's not. It's basically like a sandbox of other podcasts, and I'm really excited to be a part of it. They're really, really cool. There's a bunch of really good shows on there, and I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass or anybody's ass. Like, there's some legit good shows on there. One of which we're gonna be doing a crossover episode of, and I'm super excited about it.
Is it my favorite one?
It is
probably my favorite one.
Did I tell you? It's official.
Is it official now?
It's official. It's official. So, one of those shows is a show called HILF, History I'd Like to Fuck. Yes. And it is Dawn Brody, good. A comedian and voice actress, and all sorts of things. And she deep dives into the history of things that the guests pick. And I threw a bunch of things at her, and she picked up pro wrestling. She's like, I'm going to do it with pro wrestling. And I was like, okay, cool.
She goes deep too. I didn't know what to expect when we were going to listen to one of the things we did on our 8.5 hour journey driving was we were like, oh, let's listen to a few of these podcasts that we're on that we share the network with now. And man, we listened to one of those, and then we listened to another one, and then we listened to another one, and then we listened to like probably 5.
I think it was like 4 or 5 that we in a row.
They're so good. It's such a good show, and she does a really good job. And like, that's like one I'm gonna be listening to on my off time on my drives. It's going in my rotation for sure. I like history. I like facts. And I love the way that she presents it.
She just dropped a new one, and it was the Monica Lewinsky Bill Clinton scandal.
Nice.
And it was hilarious. It was great. So yeah, she's gonna have us on. We're gonna have her on. We're gonna kind of do it the way we normally do it with these other shows, where it's like, come for part 1, stay for part 2, if you come for part 2, well, you missed something in part 1. So that'll be a lot of fun. I'm excited. We're setting up something where it's like a meet the network kind of thing. So we're gonna have a few different nice glass deck.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the comment in the gallery over here. We for those of you that are listening, this show is live for our patrons over at patreon.com/baconismapod. So if you want to get this live,
/bacon is my podcast, buddy.
Every time
fucking time
I do the wrong one. So check it out over there if you want to be part of the group that's hanging out and chatting with us over here.
And something I will say too about this particular feature on the Patreon, it is for all tiers. So if you can give you can pay as little as $3 a month,
or you can give a lot,
and you could be a part of this. You could be a part of this action. So yeah, Bacon is my podcast.
And yes, I am. If you are watching this on the YouTube page, Strangerhood TV, you see this wonderful beverage glass that I am drinking from, that I am imbibing my Teeling small batch Irish whiskey with. It's got a Spider-Man, it's got a Deadpool, and it's got a hey.
Yeah.
from the wonderful Melissa, handcrafted. She didn't blow the glass, but she did paint it, and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And she is here in the chat.
Yeah.
Thank you, Melissa.
Yeah, we had, they canceled our flight. We were in Cleveland on the last episode of Discussion and Drinks. They canceled our flight home, and we drove 8.5 hours, and we listened to a bunch of podcasts on the Den, and we talked about fun things. That's the weird thing too. Like, Jimmy and I have discussed this before, but sometimes when you're traveling with somebody like a lot, and you're with them a lot, or you're driving a car, sometimes you don't need to talk.
Yes.
Like there's times for silence, and we both have that mutual understanding, especially like when we went to Cleveland, it was 6:30 a.m. flight, and so it's like, all right, I'm not going to be picking your brain today, buddy.
I'll see you later.
I'll wait till you have some matcha.
Oh,
yeah. And so, but yeah, that I feel like that. I mean, besides the podcasts, of course, maybe that counted for our like silence time,
right?
But even through those and stuff, I feel like we talked a lot of that time. It was very weird.
Definitely.
Like, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I just like, I like to drive, and it's just like, okay, just shh. I don't know where you stand with that.
Well, I think we both read the room, pretty well. So,
yeah.
And we're both chatty Cathys, but
I think the best part of the drive was when Jimmy started drifting off. We had the podcast playing, and he's turned like so. If you're watching on Stranger TV,
yes,
or if you're not,
that's my move.
Yeah, he turns his head almost like a flamingo.
Mm-hmm.
And he just completely turns it around, and I saw it, and I heard the mouth breathe, and I kind of went brrr on the rumble strips. And he's like, "You okay?" I'm like, yeah.
You did that on purpose, you dick.
Yes, I did. I did, because it was like less than an hour into our drive.
That's great.
So I had to do it. Sorry.
Fantastic.
I wanted to tell you live on the air.
That's great.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that was your move. Yeah, that's totally my move. I turn and I try and like find a spot where like I'm kind of held up by the seatbelt a little bit so that I don't have the head thing that happens.
Yeah, I thought you were going for the Exorcist kind of thing.
Yeah, no,
you're just like completely trying to turn your head all the way around your yeah. That's it was a move, but he did not.
It's definitely my move.
He did not try to go to sleep from that moment on.
No, I did not.
I think it was because he was afraid I was falling asleep.
I was like, "Uh-oh, you're tired too."
Well, to be fair, we. Oh no, actually, I don't think we were out that late that night, right?
Not that late, but
because I was a wuss, and I wanted to go to bed.
You weren't a wuss. You were just you were tired.
It's tuckered out.
You were tuckered out.
And we were hanging out with a doctor talking about progressive metal.
Yeah.
And his awesome setup, and how he's worried about the machines taking over.
Timeout.
Yeah.
Have you guys checked out baconismypodcast.com yet?
It's like the portal to everything Bacon Is My Podcast. It's got episodes. Mm-hmm. It's got music.
Yeah.
It's got swag. And it has a portal to all of our sponsors, our awesome sponsors like GrillYourAssOff.com, Drink Wild Bills, Manscaped, and, of course, Mythical Beards.
Mythical Beards, yeah. So check it out. I mean, you can just, from one page, find so many things.
Yes.
Right? Check out our swag. Check out their swag. Get those discount codes and just, help out the show.
Exactly. And always remember to ask yourself one super important question.
What's your bacon?
Yep.
They are taking over, man.
Well, they are, yeah. I mean, we all know that, but
I just I heard there's another podcast I listened to called Breaking Point, and Neil deGrasse Tyson was on it, and they were talking to him about, talking to him about aliens and all that kind of stuff. But they were also talking to him about like AI, and he goes, he was so funny. He was like, guys, AI has been like running things for decades. We've been like, well, all of a sudden now, because it can write a term paper, there's a problem. Like, it's been running things for a long time. Get used to it. It's how it's going. It's happening. Just relax.
It's legitimately all zeros and ones. It's how a computer works, only a little bit more.
Well, and he had a good point. He was like, it's not going to replace people because it can only use the information that's available on the internet. So like if you say, write me a sonnet in the style of this poet, it can do it. Unless you say, write me a sonnet in a way that's never been written before. Then it can't, because it can only get information that already exists.
Right.
So it can't really create anything new. It can just create variations or deviations of things that already are there.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, well, and also, what are you talking to when you're trying to get like some sort of support with either Optimum, your cable, your phone bill, your anything?
We rely on AI to get us to work around traffic every day.
Yes.
And you've been using it since MapQuest. Like, it's been there the whole time. If you had if you're a little older and you had a TomTom, that was AI.
My God, TomTom.
Right? Like all of it. It's been around for decades. Everybody's getting weird now because somebody made a chat version.
Right.
It can post for me online.
Yeah, but I also think it's the response. Like, they're finally coming out with like the Chat GBT stuff where you go, okay, well, I want to do this, and it comes out, spits out in seconds, right?
Right.
I don't think people are aware that they've been privy to this stuff all along. You know?
Oh yeah. Any technology we have is 50 years behind what exists.
Right. Right. But even still, like I said, if you're trying to get your T-Mobile bill straight and you don't feel like calling and you're doing that little blurb on the corner of your computer, that's all AI. That's all preset, ready to go. That's not Stephanie Z from
Minnesota. When you're chatting with someone to return your Amazon purchase.
Yeah, right. That's not a person.
This is Kyle. No, it's not you, Kyle.
You're just a computer.
You're a computer, Kyle.
How do you spell that in zeros and ones? Huh, Kyle? Yeah. I don't know.
This shirt fits me weird, Kyle.
I need to return it.
I don't want to bring it to Kohl's.
Oh, but it's so easy. Kohl's is the easiest thing to do.
No way, dude. The 7-Eleven little drawer. You go there, you scan it, the drawer opens, you throw it in, you shut it, you leave. It's great. You don't have to talk to anybody. You have to stand in line.
I get that, but they don't have a lot of them near me. Like or it's not that they don't have a lot of them near me. It's just that people return too much shit on a daily basis to Amazon, so they don't have open lockers.
Ah, I gotcha.
Now they do have one near me, but it's inside of a Rite Aid.
Okay.
But it's all the way in on the inside, like near the pharmacy section.
Right.
I hate that.
Donna in the chat said UPS store works well. I've also used the UPS store.
Yeah, I like what's cool about the Kohl's thing is you could have it just hanging out the box.
Right. Yeah, you can
just completely disheveled and just be like, here.
You can bring them. Yeah, you can bring them loose candies. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And they're just like, okay, whatever, dude. Slap a sticker on. Here's 15% 15% off your next purchase.
Right.
I'm good to go.
I don't want this tea anymore. Here's a handful of tea bags. Thanks, Kohl's. Take care of it.
Well, then Kohl's gives you 15% off. What they were doing at the very beginning, they were giving you Kohl's cash. So they give you like $5 every time you return stuff.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. All right.
It didn't last very long because people return a lot of shit.
Yeah,
and then instead of
like,
returning it in batches, they were like, oh, well, every return I give is $5. Yeah.
You know, it was some asshole that like got to the front of the line and then walked to the back of the line and did it like 3 or 4 times. And the person was like, come on.
It's Kohl's.
Yeah.
Really?
And they were like, I can get $25.
Well, enjoy your shoes.
Right.
Enjoy your shoes, dick.
Right.
Man. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not still with all the ChatGPT stuff. I know a lot of people really love it and they lean on it. And I do see that there are certain aspects of life where it does help and make things easier. Anything I've ever put into it has been complete and utter bullshit and gibberish that has been spit back out at me. And I'm like, this is nothing. This is not a thing of what I wanted.
What have you tried to do with it?
I've tried to do band and our bio before.
Oh, well, yeah, but it can only it can only get what's available online. So when it doesn't find things, it reaches out and tries to stitch things together with other stuff. So like I did a bio too, and it got like, there were like 4 or 5 little factoids that actually were true. And then there was a bunch of just bullshit that was they just took from like someone else's bio or something like that. So it does, you know, it does take like, if you put in your bio and go, can you reword this? It can do that.
Okay.
I've also experimented with like, I've used it in a lesson once where I was showing a student who was talking about it. I go, cool. I want you right now to ask ChatGPT to write you a lead guitar part in the style of Guns N' Roses in A minor. And that's what he put in. And it gave tabs of this guitar lead that he played then that was very much in the style of Guns N' Roses. That was like a unique little solo thing. And I was like, here's one way that like, if you're trying to write, I can see using it. I don't know, just like anything else, it's a tool. It's not going to replace anything. It's like another tool in the arsenal if you want to try. Or if you're like, I'm stuck on a word and I need a bunch of words, instead of going to a thesaurus, you know, what's another way to say this line? And then you can put it in there and it'll spit out a bunch of things. I used it for, I used it to come up with our 7 questions for repeat offenders. Those were a bunch of, some of them were mine and some of them were ChatGPT questions.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was like, interesting questions about, here's the topic to ask musicians, you know, and then it came up with a bunch, and I grabbed whichever couple I thought were cool. And
was the cheese manipulation versus color manipulation, was that
yes.
that a ChatGPT thing?
That was a ChatGPT thing.
Wow.
Yeah. It didn't have the which one's better or worse. It was like weird superpowers, and it gave me a bunch of those things, and I was like, okay, and then I'll make a question of which one's worse or better.
Huh.
Right? So it was good to use for that, but you still need like some ingenuity and creativity, or at least like half a brain to kind of like attach to it.
Okay.
And go, okay, this is a tool. This is going to get me 20% there, or even 50% there, and I have to fill in the rest of it. Okay.
Only because I think I've been, just because of the way that it's been presented to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm probably approaching it as this thing where people are like, it's taking everything over, and I'm like, okay, well, then do this.
Yeah.
And it's just not working. It's not working that way. So I am glad you kind of straightened that out for me.
Yeah, or you can go like ask it for a recipe, you know, and put in like, give me 5 recipes with these ingredients.
Huh.
And it'll do that, you know, and it'll be quicker than Googling that.
Right.
And reading through somebody's. That's the thing I hate most about looking up recipes is I'll look up a recipe for something and I got to go through someone's like 4 pages of their stupid life story of why they made a website.
Why they made the website and why their mother made this a certain way. It's like,
oh
dude,
God, I don't care.
I just want to know the ingredients, cook time, and the temperature.
Tell me what's in your goddamn peanut sauce. I'm trying to make some Thai noodles. What is in it? Yeah.
Something that bothers me a little bit are the videos now, like the TikTok videos or the reels that happen that are different, like food things, because now they just take forever. It's like you don't have to show me stirring dry ingredients for a minute. They eliminated this from cooking shows in the 70s. Why are you doing it now?
Well, or they show you some obviously not real recipe. You know, they're just like, oh, I just boil some water and then I throw flour into that water and then the water boils out and I roll it up and throw some butter in it. And look, I baked this bread. And you're like, that's not how that works. You did not. Stop it. And there's like 1 million views on it because there's 1 million people that are watching it for the 3rd time because they're like, mine didn't come out like that. It's like, yeah, no shit, because it's wrong. Because it's a dumb recipe.
That's been bothering me lately. But yeah, anytime I go for oh my God, and the pop-ups for a recipe, dude, because you're scrolling and you're like, oh man, I'm making great time on these 4 pages of bullshit that I don't want to read. Right. And then all of a sudden it's like, whom.
Yeah.
And then you click the X and then you lose wherever it decides that it was originally going to load. So now you've lost 2 pages and you have to scroll back.
You got to go back and be like, oh, yeah, Timmy was a Boy Scout and his best friend brought a basil leaf over once. And that just made their whole life different.
Man, the problems we face today, you know?
Yeah, right. Also, yeah. You know what you don't have to do? Go to the library.
Get a book.
And check out a book.
To figure out how to make
Thai
fucking
cooking.
Meatloaf.
Right.
Peanut sauce. Although there's actually...
Try and read through grandma's handwriting on a Post-it.
On a Post-it from 1964.
Or a note card. Here's my flashcards of my recipe. There's 72 cards that have to be in the right order to bake this bread.
And go. 52
and they're front and back on 30 of them, but not 30 in a row.
Well, that's because the front wasn't big enough to write everything,
right.
So you had to go. It was one step. It was just one step.
Right.
Yeah, man.
She also wrote in pencil and left it out in the sun. Cool.
Spilled some sauce.
Right.
Little sauce stain on the side. Actually, one thing, peanut sauce. I saw something online that you can take the remnants of your peanut butter jar and make peanut sauce out of it.
Oh yeah.
Like there's like a specific way to get it off the sides and shit.
Nice.
I did try it.
It
didn't work that great.
I feel like you wouldn't have enough peanut butter unless you like. I don't know. Like I really work at getting a lot out of the jar.
Oh no, yeah, no. I'm a scientist.
I don't leave a lot. You know, I'm not like.
I feel like since we found that recipe and it didn't turn out. I mean, Jen liked it. It wasn't like incredible. There was definitely needed more peanut butter. Right. So I feel like the last peanut butter jar that we had, it was a liberal amount where she was kind of like, all right, we're going to leave this for peanut sauce.
Right.
And I was
yeah.
like,
you got to plan it.
We can get another day of peanut butter and jelly out of that.
Right.
But, you know.
Peanut sauce is great, though.
I agree.
Thai peanut sauce. Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't had a good one in a while.
Me either.
I find a lot of them have a little too much ginger.
I like a lot of ginger, but yeah, peanut does a lot of flavor, so you got to add a good amount. But once you cross that line and there's too much ginger, then it's just like, oh, it's just a burning peanut sauce.
Right.
That's weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. All right, quick timeout. I want to let everybody know that despite the summer being gone and heading into the fall, does not mean that grilling season is over.
No, if you have a grill, it is always grilling season.
I feel like it's just getting started, and if you're grilling, if you're cooking, if you're doing any of that, make sure you do that with grillyourassoff.com.
Taste the freedom.
Exactly. Grill Your Ass Off is an awesome company. It is made in Texas. It is veteran-owned, and they were Small Business of the Year.
Yeah, Veteran Small Business of the Year 2023, which is awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
They also just partnered with Sailor Jerry. Now, rum may be my personal avoid at all costs booze, but some people really love it. And I guess I have to admit, even at its worst, it's delicious.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And there's a new Sailor Jerry Ironsides barbecue sauce that you can check out too. And anything that you decide to get at grillyourassoff.com. You want a deal? You want a special? You want some money off? Use a promo code.
Bacon. Because everything's better with bacon.
Yeah.
Right?
Hell yeah.
Come on. 10% off. Get it on all of their jerkies, all of their seasonings, all of their condiments, even their swag. Their swag is pretty sweet.
Yeah, spread some seasoning on those swags.
So definitely head over to grillyourassoff.com, use the promo code BACON for 10% off, and always remember to ask yourself one super important question.
What's your bacon?
Hi, I'm Dawn Brody, a comedian with a history degree and the host of the podcast HILF, History I'd Like to Fuck. Each episode, I am joined by a new guest who has brought me a subject from history that they want to know more about. Then I hit the books, I dig deep in the annals, and stimulate. We've covered Frankenstein, Houdini, Joan of Arc, Pompeii, the Salem witch trials, right? Ugh. Join us and find out for yourself that history is a party and everybody's coming.
So what else is going on in life? So we're doing this remotely because Jimmy's been under the weather. By the time this comes out, it'll be after the show. Mm-hmm. But as you all know, gentlemen in our chat as well, Joey and his band have a nice little EP soiree, if you will.
Yes, the Neon Skyline.
This guests of the show. We're going to be playing their EP release show and the after party as well, which is going to be cool as shit. Now,
did you say full of shit?
No, cool as shit.
Oh, I thought you were like, we're going to be playing the after party too, which is going to be full of shit.
No.
Is not incorrect.
Probably right.
I'm going to be full of shit. I'm going to be full of shit while I'm playing. I'm going to be making it up as I go along.
Yeah, that's what we do.
It's going to be. I'm going to be up there. I'm going to be up there.
But which I'm excited for. But I think everybody here will laugh because I think this is a fun story. So I'm.
Everybody in the chat also thought you said full of shit. By the way.
Oh no, cool as shit. Maybe I was mumble. Maybe I had the mumbles.
A little bit of marble mouth.
Maybe. So Joey texts me and says, "Hey, we're doing the after party. We need your signature drink. So if you were a drink, what would you be?" And I was like, "You listen to the show, you know." Turns out, couldn't do it with whiskey or bourbon, which then made me think.
Mine also is not.
Yeah, well, see, it was funny because then Jimmy, he's also playing.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him, I said, well, did you get the Jameson? Was I bumped? Because obviously Jimmy has Jameson rank over me, which is okay. I'll allow it. I accept that. And he said no. In fact, were you even asked what your drink was?
I was not asked at all. Although I will say my drink does have Crown Royal, so I do have whiskey.
You do have a whiskey.
I have a whiskey in it, and I do enjoy Crown. It's Crown Royal Peach, where I'm like, but you know, I'm gonna try. I gotta try it, so I gotta try it.
Well, I had to simmer on it for a little while, and
I wonder when into the choices. How did those get chosen?
Well, my choice was I'm going to class this fucking joint up. I want a vodka martini, extra dirty, because we're going to class it up. That's where my thought process was.
Yeah, you do. You definitely have the most hardcore drink. The Neon Skylines drink, put on a smile, blueberry vodka, raspberry vodka, grenadine, lemonade, and club soda. Sounds delicious.
It does.
It does sound delicious. And we're seeing in the chat that Joey did say something whiskey for me. So thanks, buddy. I appreciate that.
There we go.
So, and I will say, Your Last Day Alive, which is our drink.
Great
Crown
name.
Royal Peach. That's a good drink name.
That's a great drink name.
I definitely like. I can't believe that as a bartender, I never made a drink and called it that.
Well,
like the only drink I ever made was called Hookers and Blow, which is also a great drink name. Party ain't a party without Hookers and Blow. So Your Last Day Alive, Crown Royal Peach, cranberry juice, simple syrup, splash of club soda. It's probably delicious.
Yeah.
It's probably one of those like, definitely one of those like fruit punchy drinks that you're gonna be like, oh my god, I can drink so many of these, and then you have 3 of them, and you're like, oh my god, I can't walk straight.
Yeah. Well, so the last one, so Deadstock is playing as well. I don't know them, but judging by their drink, cucumber, jalapeno, tequila, and ginger beer, I'm kind of like that could be pretty banging.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like a tequila mule.
Right? But with like a cucumber jalapeno vodka. Tequila rather. I love cucumber in liquor.
Now cucumber mules are great.
Yeah.
Like you get a cucumber vodka and do a Moscow Mule. Or just add cucumbers to a regular Moscow Mule. It's delicious.
What I think we should probably do, Jimmy, is while we're there, try and do a tasting of each of them.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Because I want to try all of them.
I
know.
How long are the sets? I'll give up. I'll do 2 songs and we'll do a tasting.
I was told 4 or 5 songs. I chose 4. So
okay.
I'm going first, so yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So that'll help. That'll help the evening go a little bit smoother.
I think I'm going second, right? I'm right after you. Are the drinks in order of performance?
I don't know. We'll have to take it to the chat where
not in order of performance.
No. No, I think it's me, Deadstock, you, Neon.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what it is.
Cool.
Because I had originally said, "Hey, Joey, you mind if I go on earlier?" And because I was going to be doing the walk, but then the walk got canceled. So, but I'm not going to say, "Well, I'll take the later slot now." Because that's a dick move. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think it's Jimmy. It's me.
Yeah, Mike,
Deadstock, Jimmy, Julia, and Dan. Cool. Which I'm excited. I by the way, BIMP Awards are coming soon. sooner than we realize. And
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Now, for the BIMP squad out there, bust Joey's chops, because he is the first official band that we have invited to perform, and he's going to have to see what he can put together.
Mm.
And I say,
not only BIMP Squad, but those of you that are listening,
the Neon Skyline.
Neon Skyline, go to their social medias and just spam them with hashtag BIMPies.
Yeah, because we want them to, hey man, let's get them to open up the fucking show.
Set the tone.
Set the tone for the show. Let's do it. You heard it here first.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That would be awesome. I'm excited. But yeah, the show should be great. We should probably put like a little stinger at the end of this show of how the show went. So this way it's like, we're talking about it. It didn't happen yet.
We're in the past.
But also in the future. The future. Speaking of the future, I was just in Epcot last week, and that was Walt Disney's hope for the future.
How close are we?
Well, no. See, it was. Oh wait. Joey said he can't wait. I can't wait to find out what a disaster it will be. It's not going to be a disaster because you run a tight ship. You run a tight ship, bud.
Does he mean the after party or the Bimpy performance?
I don't know. Probably the after party.
Both.
Maybe both. Who knows? But yeah, so Epcot was originally supposed to be this big, self-sustaining community of the future. And instead, it became a, one of those things where there's a lot of rides and a lot of countries that you go and visit. So anyway, I was in Epcot and I got to do the Food and Wine Festival, which was fucking awesome. If you haven't been to the Epcot Food and Wine Festival, do yourself a damn favor and do it. Go, enjoy. It's really, really good. I sent Jimmy tons of pictures.
The one time you can go to Disney without children and not look weird.
Yes. We went sans children. I went on Guardians of the Galaxy. That ride is the bomb.
Nice.
I highly recommend it. It's supposedly the longest track for a roller coaster in. I think it was no. I'm sorry. I think it's the longest running roller coaster in North America. So like from beginning to end.
Did you see the Stephen Colbert show that Chris Pratt was on, where they did it to where there's like a hologram of Chris Pratt when you come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
They did it to where he could do that live, and so he started like talking to the people that were in front of him and like saying things about them specifically, and they were like, "Wait, what is happening?"
That is awesome, dude. That part, I if you don't want to be spoiled, like whatever, fast forward like 30 seconds. But
put your fingers in your ears.
Yeah, but basically at the very end, the Guardians come to you because you're kind of like you're a civilian brought to a Nova ship, and then you end up having to help the Guardians with a threat, and the Guardians are all out there and they're like, you guys did so great, congratulations. And Chris Pratt goes, "You are all Guardians of the Galaxy now." And Drax goes, "Quill, what are you talking about? We can't fit all these people on our ship." And then Quill goes, "Shut up, Drax. This is just a formality. It's just an honorary name. Nobody's gonna actually come back on the ship." He goes, "Oh, You are all guardians of the galaxy. You are all insignificant. And it was, it's just so good. Like Drax is on point on that whole ride. It is
Awesome.
amazing. It is amazing. But the food, I want to talk a little bit about smoked corned beef, but it's pulled on.
What'd you say about me?
Yeah. On house-made potato chips with beer cheese fondue, pickled onions, and it even had cheese curd. Oh,
Cheese curds are delicious.
they were delicious. The name,
That sounds incredible.
it was heaven. It was unfortunately the first thing that we tried when we were there. And therefore everything
So yeah, nothing.
Everything
Everything else was a lesser than.
less than. So something I will recommend is don't go to Flavors from Fire. Don't go there first.
Go there last. All right.
Don't go there last either, because they might run out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Go there in the middle before
Go there
you're
in the
gonna
middle.
start with desserts.
exactly. But yeah, man, I would love I'd love to go there with other people too, and just like I'll just try all these foods. It's so fucking good, man. So good.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was my fun from last week, and then I came home and there was hospital driving around, and
None
back
of
to
that
regular
matters.
work.
None of that
And-
matters.
Yeah, but we're here now.
Beer cheese fondue.
Beer cheese fondue.
Just live in
Oh.
that. Live in that.
I'm Chris,
And I'm Mel.
and together we host the podcast
Spoil My Movie. We were watching movies anyway.
And we were having in-depth conversations about those movies too.
So, we decided to share our thoughts with the world.
You can expect me to gripe about inaccurate details like supposedly cold weather, but you can't see anyone's breath.
And you can expect me to be totally adorable, but also psychologically deep.
And by the end of each episode, we'll provide our respective ratings.
Using a rating scale custom tailored to the movie in question.
Check us out wherever you get your podcasts.
We're everywhere. We're actually behind you right now.
Hey, have you ever wondered how you could actually help the show out? I mean, not just like listening and giving a 5-star review or buying a t-shirt or working
A
with
little
our
bit
sponsors.
of extra zazz.
Yeah. Are you one of those people that likes extra stuff? That likes a little bit more? Can't spell extraordinary without that little extra.
Exactly. So if you like that stuff, if you want a little bit of extra bacon, like tasting shows and cooking shows and
Yeah.
early access to episodes, I mean, shoot, you can't get any earlier than live.
That's true.
Every week we do our discussion and drinks live for our patrons over at patreon.com/baconismypodcast.
Check it out. Check out the tiers. See what's right for you. Help us out. We love you. Thanks for being a part of it. Remember to ask yourself, what's your bacon?
And we stayed at the Port Orleans Hotel. We stayed on, there's two on Disney property. It's a Disney-owned property. There's two. There's the Riverside, which is very much like a bayou, and then like old Southern style Louisiana like lodging and stuff.
Okay.
But then they also had the French Quarter, which is legitimately set up exactly like the French Quarter. But the foods there were awesome. Like really, really great, like jambalaya and gumbo and beignets and
Dude, fried bread. Is there anything better than fried bread?
canned bread.
Close, but not better than fried bread.
No.
I had a pizza on fried bread once.
What kind of fried bread was it?
It was like
Like a Zeppelin kind of thing?
Kind of, yeah. And they fried the dough for the pizza slice, and then pizza. It was amazing.
That sounds amazing.
It was amazing.
Was it here?
It's absolutely amazing. No, you know what? I don't remember where it was.
You had this religious experience and you don't remember where?
Dude, there's so many things I don't remember. I remember pieces of. We've had these conversations.
Right.
I only became a person that remembers all my shit like within the last like 7 years, maybe 10.
Yeah.
Anything before that,
It's all up in the air.
where was it? Could have been anywhere, man.
Yeah. But then, yeah, the beignets were good. They definitely weren't as good as actual New Orleans beignets, though.
So
But
they're
great.
There's a pizza place in West Lafayette, Indiana, called Bruno's, and those listeners, any of my listeners from West Lafayette, you know exactly where I'm going with this. But they have something called Bruno dough. And what Bruno dough is it's basically a Zeppoli, right? But instead of powdered sugar, it's a Parmesan garlic butter. And then they give you basically like a almost like a queso to dip it in, like a spicier cheese to dip it in. So you get these fried Zeppolis that are savory with garlic butter and Parmesan, and then you dip them in this like queso cheese, and it's so good.
That sounds amazing.
It's unnaturally good, and I can't believe that it's literally the only place that I've ever found anything like it.
Is it still around and running?
Yes.
Yeah.
Every time I go home for the holidays, I am like Bruno dough. And like when my brother comes home for the holidays, he'll like show up at the house and he's like, I got into town a half hour ago, but I went to Bruno's and here's like 7 orders of Bruno dough. and literally
and it's like a queso that comes with it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's like this thick, like queso-y cheese sauce, like a crap ass cheese sauce that you know, like those amazing crap cheese sauces,
right?
With this like savory Parmesan garlic Zeppoli.
Wow,
it's so good, man. It's so good. Dude,
that sounds
Bruno
awesome.
dough. Yeah,
I love like shitty cheese though. I love that shitty melted.
Me
cheese.
too.
Jen makes fun of me because when I go to the movies, I get nachos and cheese. I don't get the pretzel bites. Because
I want the pretzel bites, but they're never good. They're always stale.
Yeah, we've talked about that. I luckily I've run into it only once.
Yeah.
But the cheese that you get there versus the cheese that you get with the peel off top, way inferior. Or like the one that you push down on the
yeah.
Where it's like the hot fudge dispenser.
Yes.
That's cheese. That is queso dip right there. Don't give me this. Don't give me this Moe's garbage.
I've tried to recreate that.
Yeah, no.
I have sifted through many people's life stories online trying to recreate that queso. And it never worked. They're like, this is Velveeta. And I'm like, it's not Velveeta.
Right. Well, that's
it's
the thing.
Something else. You know what? I bet you if you go to like a some kind of like world market or some kind of like international supermarket or something like that, or maybe even in the international section, every supermarket, there's probably a canned, like in the Mexican section, there's probably a canned cheese that's exactly it.
Yeah, the thing is that cheese is not actually cheese.
Mexican.
And it's not Mexican. It's not actual cheese. And it's not made from real ingredients.
No, absolutely not.
So like the things that you look up online, and doesn't matter how the
they
longer
say
the story
and craft singles and stuff, and those things are not.
Those are not even close.
None of those contain cheese either. You know, so I figured it was like, okay, so it's Velveeta and craft singles and then a bunch of dried spices. Like, but it's not. I don't know what the hell it is.
Well, Velveeta has no taste.
Right.
Velveeta is just a cheese.
Cheese whiz. You get cheese whiz too.
Well,
right?
cheese whiz it has its place on a Philly cheesesteak. That's it.
Philly. Yeah.
But
it's
that at least has a little bit of. That's got a little bit of flavor.
It's got to be like maybe cheese whiz mixed with like jalapeno peppers or something, or
maybe it's the juice from the pickled jalapenos.
Maybe something's going on there that's amazing.
Or it may be just a chemical that's really, really incredibly cheap to create that tastes just
gum.
like it.
It's xanthan gum or some shit like that.
Have you ever tried to make
xanthan spelled with an X?
Right. Have you ever tried to make xanthan gum?
No. Why would I do that? Wait. It's a thing you make at home?
No.
I just. Oh, okay. I was like, what? Science me right now, my friend.
Yeah.
What wizardry are you doing in your house?
I'm sure. Hey, man, Gavin's got a chemistry set. I'm sure we could do something.
He's crafting xanthan gum in his basement.
Some people have meth labs. I have xanthan gum.
These people are gonna find me.
God damn it! I will get this queso right if it kills me.
It's the homemade xanthan gum.
I don't know, man. I can't do the cheese, and I know it comes from one of those like pump things, but the cheese that comes with the pretzel bites is not as good.
Cheese they give you with the.
It is not the same cheese. Not at the Levittown Lowe's.
Oh, okay.
It is not the same cheese.
It's the same cheese.
Not all cheese is created equal.
Oh, we know.
Not all queso. Not all queso is.
These are facts.
Yeah.
But yeah, the nacho cheese and the pretzel cheese is the same cheese at my movie theater.
Oh.
It's the button. You go to the machine that looks like a Slurpee machine, and they press the button.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, and it just poos it right into the little cup.
Does 7-Eleven still have
poo emoji your cheese and give it back to you?
Does 7-Eleven still have the poop chili button?
Oh, I don't know. I never used that. I never did the poop chili.
You never did it?
Chili?
Yeah, I did the poop
did you?
chili. Yeah, oh yeah. When I was in high school, I had like a lead stomach, so I'd have that for lunch. I once ate 12 McDonald's hash browns for breakfast.
That's 10 too many.
That's I listen, I can't defend my choices because I was in high school.
Maybe 9 too many. I could put down 3.
Yeah. Those are pretty damn good.
They're pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. I bought 15. I ate 12. I gave out 3.
How giving of you. Did you give out 3 before you ate the 12, or did you eat 12 and like, all right, I'm done?
No, no.
Now you guys can feast.
No, it was I gave out the 3 whilst eating the 12.
You were like, have my leftovers.
No. Somebody was like, I like the person that drove with me. I'm like, you want one? And they're like, okay.
They got one.
Well, they didn't want more than one.
Yeah, who does? You,
me. I did that day.
All right.
But that's the poop chili is probably the worst thing I've eaten.
I put down a bunch of taquitos when 7-Eleven had the taquitos.
Yeah, I've eaten those before.
I nailed a bunch of those before.
You know what the worst is when they miscalculate whether or not they're done, or before you realize that the ones in front are the ones to take, the ones in the back are still frozen. Right,
and you don't go, no, don't take, no.
Yeah. I'd rather.
I want the second one.
I'd rather it be rolling on that little table for 3 days than be there for 10 minutes.
Right. Yeah. So you break your teeth on it and burn the inside of your lip at the same time.
Which taquito was your favorite taquito?
The I never knew which one I chose. I just was like, give me one of that and that.
You
So
just
beef and chicken were my two.
well, that's all they're made out of.
Yeah.
What the fuck else are they made? It's beef,
I don't
chicken.
know. But they taste the same to me. They taste the same.
They don't taste the same.
Yeah, they're pretty much the same.
They're not even close to the same.
They're pretty much the same.
No way. No way.
Pretty much. You taste beef or chicken in either of those.
Maybe I have an advanced palate.
The texture is different. I'll give you that.
The taste is very different.
I also we used to, when we had the Sickest Monday house. Shout out to my boy Dane, who I never talk about on this show.
2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row. We had a 7-Eleven by us, and we would go there at on Wednesdays at like midnight, because that's when they were getting rid of all the stuff that was like that they had to get rid of because of the sell-by date.
Right.
And they would have a big garbage bag, and they would throw all the stuff in, and we would go and we'd be like, "Can we take that?" And they would give it to us. And so we would get a garbage bag full of all these 7-Eleven items, bagels, croissants, like whatever was
Different
not
fruit pies.
Yeah, whatever they were going to throw away. And we'd bring it home and we'd put it on the kitchen table and just leave it open. And we would all just eat out of this garbage bag for like 3 days.
Oh my God. That's great. That is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I those fruit pies were really good.
Yeah.
I like the cherry ones.
I like the cherry ones. And the chocolate ones aren't bad either.
Yeah, but those are newer, right? They didn't have those
are
back
more
in
recent.
the day.
They didn't know. We didn't have those. Weren't part of the.
Oh, okay.
Those weren't part of the deal. The cherry ones were. I'm not into the apple ones.
Yeah, no.
Blueberry, rarely. If you get
Okay.
one of those, they're pretty decent.
Yeah. I've always been like the cherry.
Lemon.
Oh, lemon.
Lemon.
Dude, give me a good lemon square. I'm your best friend.
Man.
Lemon squares.
And you didn't even want, and I'm fine with it because the peanut butter pie was great, but you didn't even want to do the lemon pie at Perkins, and that was their ad.
Yeah, I know. You know what though? We had some pretty banging lemon squares at the conference.
That's true. We did. That was a standout. That was a standout at the conference.
That was the only out because
Yeah.
you cut through the chicken and it was pink.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was exciting.
Yeah. It made my choice of rolls and butter was very I was like, man, I made the right choice here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Don in the chat had lemon pancakes at Whiskey Down. Lemon pancakes I've never had.
Whiskey Down Diner is in Farmingdale here in Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
They had Whiskey Down is a really, really cool eatery. Like the inside is very small dinerish kind of feel. And you can sit outside as well. And their foods are like super eclectic. Like there's a lot of different types of foods that you can get. And they're all different. And lemon pancakes sounds spectacular.
So she said lemon cream and fresh blueberries. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I love blueberries. I love lemon.
Yeah.
I love lamp.
I love lamp. Yeah.
That sounds so good.
Yeah. Whiskey Down. Shout out to them. They have some good Benedicts too. The Benedicts are good. And they did like a Huevos Ranchos, I think.
A little Huevos Rancheros.
Yeah. That I think was really good last time I went there. So
nice.
Not a sponsor, but
there was a when I lived in New York City and I was playing shows with my duo of Mr. Nobody. We played at this place called the BMW Bar. We played there every Wednesday. We had a residency every Wednesday night. It was right across the street from the Fashion Institute. So a lot of Fashion Institute people would come there and they'd watch us. And it was a super cool place. We got to drink for free and pass around a bucket. And so we got tips and stuff. And there was a band or another duo that every other week would play before us. And they were two older gentlemen, and they had these really great vocal harmonies, and they were just super cool guys. We became friends with them, and I can't remember the name of the band now because I'm a dick, because that was in the time before.
Right.
And they had a song that they did that was kind of like a fun, funny song that was called Huevos Rancheros. And the whole song was about like getting into a big, like getting into trouble in Vegas and leaving and just like trying to wait it out by going to this diner like in the middle of the desert and ordering. And it was their order, and they were like, "Huevos Rancheros and all the coffee you can spare." I remember that. I remember that line and that little melody, and it was awesome. I remember those guys.
That's great. That is great. All right. Well, before we head out here, I do want to talk about the wrestling stuff real quick because
People got fired.
Well, no. Like, it's been a little while since we've had a show, so
Yeah.
WWE is no longer McMahon owned, right?
Yep. He has a boss now.
He has a boss now, and furthermore, this morning, because of SEC filings, they're trying to sell off all of Vince McMahon's shares because they see him as a liability.
I saw that too.
So that being said,
now I didn't see that as like they're trying to. I saw that as something like the one I read said that like he was doing that, like he was participating in that.
well, he was participating in that because they basically said, "Hey, man, because of all this shit that's going on, and because of the things that might happen." And I don't know what kind of legalities there are when you own shares of a company and you end up going to jail.
Right.
But the company basically said, they're like, "Hey, dude, you're a liability, and this could get really messy. So you should probably get rid of that stock, so this way it doesn't screw everything up for everybody."
I wonder if that's going to make my stock go up.
I hope it does, because supposedly the stock's been the drizzling shits lately.
It has not.
No, the past couple of days it dropped 40 points, 40%.
I didn't. That's not what I saw.
Yeah, it plummeted. that's what I just read, that the stocks went down like 40% as of yesterday morning.
Yesterday morning? Oh,
this morning.
Okay.
Because you announced that you signed a $1 billion TV deal, and apparently that means your stock goes in the shitter.
Yeah, how does that happen?
So yeah, that's kind of crazy to think that.
That did go down. I'm still up on it, but that did go down. Yeah.
I think it's wild that there is a possibility, because we always knew, he was trying to. They were talking about selling, all that kind of stuff, but we've always said, like, okay, well, he's always going to have his hand in it. Well, now he's got bosses. Now he's got people. He just sold it. He's got bosses. He's got people above him. And now they're saying, "Hey, you're a liability. You're going to cause problems for us. Sell your shares because this is not good." So Vince McMahon might not even be involved at all in WWE, which is crazy.
I wonder what kind of things he put in place already to make sure of that wouldn't happen, because this whole thing was a big, like, mafia takeover from him anyway. where he was like, "Oh, I'm not going to let you sell the company, and I'm not going to let you do TV deals unless you let me back." Then they let him back, and he fires half the people that would dissent from him on the board, and hires a bunch of yes men, and then says, "I'm not going to do this," and then is doing that. Like, so, like, I'm skeptical of all that. Like, he seems like he's a couple steps ahead of things. He's a shrewd scumbag.
And then, we did, as Jimmy mentioned earlier, it was a big layoff day, but for talent. Now the deal closed, and a couple of days later they fired like 100 plus internal people.
I don't know if Annie's friend, the guy that took us on the tour, got fired. I have to check and find out.
Well, from what I understand, it was more. It's more of that like infrastructure stuff. So it's like,
it was people in the creative department and also the video department too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like they basically, they're trying to do all the same. Like, they were stretched thin as it was. Like, when we were there and talking to them, he was like, "Oh my God, it's chaos."
Yeah, you were saying
on show days, and they like took half their force away, and they're expecting them all to do the same jobs, like put out the same stuff.
Wow.
So that's going to be crazy.
Well, I think what people, what you got to understand too is when it comes to a company like this. So you've got UFC and you've got WWE, right? And within those, there's going to be redundancies. So you got like HR. Okay, do you need HR for two companies? Well, maybe at some points, but overall, no, probably not. Some of the video and production crew, they probably do have some redundancies, but that sucks, Right. That sucks, when it comes to like travel, you would have to think that people working travel, well, for UFC, people do it once a month sometimes.
Right.
Whereas WWE, it's 3 times a week, sometimes 4. And then, on top of that, live events, stuff like that. So that workforce is probably stronger. So that UFC side is probably like, oh, wow, we might be the redundancy here. We might get folded in. Or we might get axed, and then their work gets folded into. So a lot of things.
What would be crazy? Like, imagine Endeavor is the people that leaked dirt to the SEC as a way to get them out.
Who knows, man?
That would be nuts.
That would be wild. That would be wild.
I hope that happens.
Yeah.
Just because that would be so like movie plot, like, who's a bigger villain than the villain?
Yeah, he, dude, his look right now, looking like a cartoon villain.
He's gonna tie a damsel to some train
tracks.
Right,
he needs a fucking top hat, like one of those really big ones.
Yeah. He totally looks like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or he looks like he's got like a 30-year-old bad magic show at the Circus in Vegas.
That's amazing. And
they tore down the Circus like a decade ago.
And then,
but he's still there in the rubble, just like doing hard tricks, doing the rings.
Oh man, you know who he looks like? He looks like the magician from fucking Frosty the Snowman.
He does.
He does. What is his name?
He does.
Okay, it is. What is the musician's name? Professor Hinkle.
Can you put him up on screen?
I'm gonna put him up on screen. Hold on. I'm working on it. Here we go. Screen share window. Here we go. Professor Hinkle.
Yes. That's fantastic.
And then let's see.
And then TKO Vince McMahon. You get that weird ass thing that they put up of him.
Here we go.
There it is.
Come on. Let's see. All right, so
dude,
we got that, and then you got.
He also kind of looks like Dick Buckus.
So you got this, and then you have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Good call.
Professor Hinkle.
Professor
Holy
Hinkle.
Shit.
McMahon.
He looks like Professor Hinkle. That is incredible. Wow.
Well, you know.
And what sucks is, there was a lot of layoffs as well for talent. So the people that we saw on screen, for the most part, is it going to affect the day to day? No, probably not.
Well, hopefully that's the last of the layoffs. I hate to see anybody out of work. Like,
yeah, you don't like to see anybody out of work. It's probably not going to really affect a whole lot, but it is what it is. There are some names on that list of people that I think might be better off being used elsewhere. I think Emma has a bright future. She was really good in Impact when she went to Impact.
I bet she'll go back there.
Yeah, I think she'd be a good shot in the arm if they used her properly at AEW.
And they'll probably take Riddick Moss too over an Impact. I mean, they're kind of they can be a package deal now.
Yeah. Ziggler was a big surprise.
That was a surprise to me. I wonder if he'll even stick with wrestling. I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think he needs it.
He definitely doesn't.
He doesn't need it. I think he's got other passions, other things he wants to pursue, a lot of other things now. People have told me like, oh, his comedy sucks. I haven't seen it for myself, but I know he's got a lot of other things that he can do, acting, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. I think that the WWE tether, I think with that off of him, he's got, sky's the limits for him, and whatever he wanted to do, he just fucking could.
Right.
Ali, Mustafa Ali, I am excited for him because I think
he was completely undervalued and underused.
I think he would be, automatically people are like, oh, AEW. I think he'd be really great in New Japan or New Japan Strong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, listen, you want to put Mustafa Ali versus like Ray Fenix? Okay. Sure. Yeah, I'm here for it. Or Orange Cassidy and Mustafa Ali. Okay.
Yeah, I think people immediately think AEW, one, because it's the highest profile, but also because AEW doesn't really like big guys. So like the smaller guys and the more mid-sized wrestlers are going to do really well there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then one last thing before we go, because we just had Grand Slam this past week.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was going, oh, there's going to be the big surprise. There's got to be a big surprise this year. And everybody said it was either Sasha Banks or Mercedes Moné or Edge.
Right.
And I know Mercedes, Sasha Banks is going to head there eventually. She's going to do some shots there.
Right.
But, and I've put $5 on it in a bet, I do not think Edge will go to AEW.
Well, one, his contract doesn't expire until the end of September anyway, so he couldn't have done it,
Right.
even if he was going to. But yeah, I don't know if he'll do that either. I mean, what's the benefit of him doing it? What do people want to see him do there?
Well, I think do we want to see Edge not in his prime wrestle against Kenny Omega? No.
Yes, because
I don't know.
Edge not in his prime is still putting on incredible matches.
Yeah, but something that I noticed, and I noticed it with like CM Punk's run, right? So these guys are working a WWE style, and when they're working a WWE style, they look great. Like they're awesome. You know, you know, Punk was out for 7 years or whatever it was, and yeah, when listen, the way he was like, I want to work with young guys, I want to work with new talent, that kind of stuff. I think it exposed how off his game he was when you put him like, listen, talk what you will about Ricky Starks, but Punk could not keep up with Ricky Starks. You know, the younger guys he worked with, he could not keep up with. When he was able to work with guys that can work a WWE style, so when he worked with Switchblade, when he worked with with a Samoa Joe, when he worked with a Moxley, these guys that worked the style, then you're like, okay, no, you good to go.
Right.
But I don't think Kenny Omega has the dumb down to work a great match to make Edge look good at the end of the day.
So you think, I'm just making sure that I get this, that Kenny Omega has to dumb it down to have a good match with Edge?
I don't know if the style, like, I just feel like Kenny Omega would just, he's balls to the wall like the whole time. There's a reason why he hasn't worked with certain people. You know, like you could argue with like Jericho and stuff, but Jericho was having a hard time.
I put Edge more in the Jericho space than I do in the CM Punk space.
Yeah.
Right? Like, when I definitely think that styles make matches 100%, you know? But I also think, like, if Edge and Kenny Omega were to have a match and that match wasn't good, I don't know that you can go, oh, that's because of Edge. I think you have to go like, okay, they couldn't meet in the middle somewhere.
Right. No.
So
I'm
either
not
Omega's
blaming it.
skilled enough or he's not.
I'm
Edge
not
is either skilled enough or he's not.
Yeah, I'm not blaming it on Edge, but what I'm saying is, like, what are the things that we want to see him do in AEW? Like, do we really want an Edge Kenny Omega match? I don't know. I guess
I do.
But like,
Edge and AJ Styles fucking ruled.
Well, yeah, but
right, and AJ Styles and Kenny Omega would rule.
Yeah, they would.
You know, and I like, I don't know, man. I think they could tell a hell of a story. I think Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega was great.
I also don't enjoy Kenny Omega's mic work, and I think Edge's feuds are very psychological. They're very, you know, you don't just drop Edge in for a dream match.
Right.
He's not like, you could, sure, like, cool, you don't just drop him in somewhere and it just, okay, well, Edge is just going to do this dream match. Like,
well, I don't think he would even do that. I don't even think that would be a thing he'd be interested in.
And anybody who said, like, if he goes to AEW, the only reason why he'd go there is to end his career with Christian.
Yeah, I think that's bullshit.
I think that's bullshit. And I think that if you're on the last, if you're, you know, he's said it in interviews where he's just like, yeah, I don't even know if I have a year in me, kind of thing. After having such a storied career in WWE, why would you go to AEW, which is arguably, well, not even arguably, it is a way smaller platform.
Yeah,
it is a, like, you want to end your career less
it's a
than
distant number 2.
Yeah, I feel like it would,
and
I love AEW.
Higher numbers,
right? I personally think it would tarnish his career more than it would benefit.
Yeah, I think it just depends on what he wants to do. If there are matches there that he wants to have, or if there's a money deal that's going to set up generational wealth for him and his family and stuff, then yeah, maybe he'll do it. You know, I don't think there's really any other reason to do it. I recently listened to Chris Jericho on something, and he was talking a little bit about, like, you know, he even said, like, hey, I've talked to, you know, I've said to Christian and I've said to Matt Hardy and I've said to Jon Moxley, like, you know, there's no need for us to wrestle. There's no need for us to have matches. People have seen that. There's no reason for Chris Jericho and Christian to ever have a match. Yeah. Now, Chris Jericho should be working with new guys. Christian should be working with new guys and stuff like that. I think that Edge would take a similar thing. I think people that say he'd go there to work with Christian are people that are still kind of like, Attitude Era was the best, you know, and they just want nostalgia, which I get. Cool. Nostalgia is awesome. Great. But I don't think that would be, it does, from anything he's ever said in any interviews that he's ever done, it doesn't seem like that's a thing he's very interested in.
No, he's very much about leaving the business better off than he.
Yeah, and if he thinks there's a way, like, I think if you put Kenny Omega and Edge into a program that's a 3-month program, I think Kenny Omega comes out of that better.
Right.
I think he comes out of that a better worker. I think he comes out of that a better talker. I think he comes out of that a better storyteller. I think that would be the only reason to do something like that. I think like CM Punk and Ricky Starks. I think Ricky Starks comes out of that a better talker, a better storyteller, and possibly a better wrestler because of working with Punk. I don't think Ricky Starks is that good. I've never seen the allure in him regardless. I don't get it. But I think he's better off for having worked with Punk, even though their styles didn't really mesh and it wasn't a very good match. I don't know if that's on Punk for not being able to adapt to Ricky Starks, or if that's on Ricky Starks for not being able to adapt to Punk. Like, who's the veteran there? You know, maybe Punk wasn't calling it right. Maybe Punk didn't have maybe Punk thought he could do things he couldn't do.
That is trying to do a
Pepsi plunge on Samoa Joe is overestimating your ability.
Well, you know, a number of moves that he's done that is just like one of those things where it's like, dude, like, I get it. You're trying to capture yesteryear, and we appreciate that, but if you can't do it, don't do it. Like, he did it a number of times.
Punk and MJF, and man, that ruled.
It was a great match, right? But you're
every
right.
Single time
they met in the middle.
Yeah,
they met in the middle, and it wasn't Punk trying to go, all right, well, I'm going to keep up with this young guy, or this young guy I'm going
to let you get on your shit in.
Going like, oh, well, I'm just going to go.
Right.
You know, I'm going to go and I'm going to give it my hardest because I fucking can.
Right.
And it's like, all right, well, you can still give it your hardest, but you should definitely make things work.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't
Interesting.
see Edge
It's
going.
interesting.
But I like, for me, I feel like AEW is for as much long-term storytelling that they've done, I don't know if Edge has, like, how long would you sign him for? You know, if he's
Right.
only got a year or two left, and what would that give you in terms of, like, programs? Like I said, Edge is not a, like, you know, you could take the Lucha Bros and you could take the Elite and just, like, pop them into a match and everybody's going to be happy, you know? The stories are where Edge really, you know, not taking anything away from his in-ring, but, like, the stories are where he really excels. And that's where his real good stuff is. So, would you be utilizing him properly? No. I don't think so.
I don't know. And it can't be a schedule thing because he's pretty much got the AEW schedule now.
Right.
You know
and
what I
he takes months off at a time.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So yeah, you might be right.
But we shall see, I'm sure. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out, for joining us, to the BIMP squad joining us live. If you go to Bacon is my if you go to patreon.com/Bacon is my podcast, the whole thing. You could get shows early and ad free. And honestly, how much earlier can you get than live, right?
There's none more. There's
nothing
more earlier.
No. Unless you have a time machine.
No much more earlier than live. Free.
Yes.
Live.
Free? No.
Live.
It's not free.
It's not free, but it's live.
Yeah, exactly. Guys, don't forget to check out the Den, deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Yeah, check out those podcasts. Let us know what you think. Let us know which ones are your favorite.
Tell us who we should do a crossover show with. Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm sure they'll do it.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. And always remember to ask yourself, Jimmy?
One very important, super important, the most important, some would say, the only question that matters.
Yeah.
What's your bacon?
World peace.
Bye.
This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.